Hey guys, and welcome back to another talk with me. So we're on the subject of conflict resolution, right? So the internet has basically broken down conflict resolution strategies into 1, 2, 3, 4 stages, well, 5 including compromise, which is the ultimate center, right? So as you can see, we have cooperative, unassertive, uncooperative, assertive. Shall we get into it? Awesome. So, when you are in a conflict situation, or a situation where you and a few parties or you and one other person has a conflict or a disagreement or a dispute, right? It can go one of 4 ways: accommodating, avoiding, which is my trait, competing, collaborating, or compromising. This is not a flow chart. You do not go from collaborating to accommodating to avoiding to competing. You are either one or of these, right? We're in a conflict situation. What would be accommodating? Ultimately, personally, I feel when we say accommodating, it depends on the dispute or the reason for conflict. If the reason for conflict is something that you have done wrong, that's made a person feel a certain type of way, and they come to you confronting you about the situation and how it's made them feel, it is within your best interest to cooperate and be accommodating to their feelings. This does not mean that you throw your feelings out the window, but if it doesn't bother you to accommodate them, then why not? This is positive conflict resolution. Conflict resolution as a whole is positive, but let's just say positive and negative because there are negatives here, right? Then we get to the same exact situation and you decide, okay, I am going to avoid the situation. I'm just going to say, yeah, okay, and avoid it. That means you're not acknowledging that this person has felt the confidence to come and confide in you that something you have done has bothered them. B, you're also not respecting them, because if they are telling you this and you're ignoring them, then what does that say about you? Avoiding the situation can be just as bad as being aggressive about a situation. People have this misconception that when you avoid a situation, it makes it better, it makes you passive, so it's okay. But avoiding a situation makes you passive aggressive, which means you are aggressive, you're just not openly aggressive about it. And a lot of people who avoid situations are passive aggressive. I am passive aggressive, okay? So as you can see, we have assertive and unassertive. These two, okay, I'll go over that lastly. So avoiding is a no. We've established that. Then we go to competing. So competing can be positive or negative, in the sense that competition is good. Having competition. Competing is a different ballgame. That means you are pitting yourself against somebody who is totally different than you, but you are going to try and prove that you are better than them, ultimately, right? Competition is always good because sometimes we get too comfortable in our talents, in our abilities, and having a person challenge that is a great thing, because then you unlock new depths of what you are good at. In the situation where we talk about conflict resolution, what are you competing for? It could be competing in the sense that you're trying to speak over the person that's communicating with you. You're trying to point out more facts and be more obvious than the person who's communicating with you. These are all different forms of competing, and it is uncooperative, right? Uncooperative. So it's wrong. Then we have collaborating. This is when you and the party or the parties come together to form one concept, one idea with different ideas. That's what collaborating is. It is coming together with different perspectives, different ideologies, and putting it all into one bunch. That is collaboration. Now, as you can see, we have accesses. An axis. Yes. Below the axis, these are unassertive. Above is assertive. Assertive and aggression are two different things. When you are being assertive, you are making sure that what you are saying or what you are making reference to is known and aware of, to a point where that person understands you. Whereas if you're aggressive, you see the person hears you, but just because they're not agreeing, you're going to continue to tell them what you say until they agree, and that's a form of aggression. And both of these tactics are cooperative, which means that both of these situations have peoples or parties involved in them that are willing to cooperate in order to resolve the conflict. At the bottom, these are all unassertive, and unassertive is just as bad. Unassertive is not dealing with the issue or the problem head on and letting it spiral out of control, or leaving the person who is affected by it, if there's only one party affected by it in the situation, to just carry on as they've been. So in the middle of all of this, accommodating, collaborating, avoiding, and competing, these are either positives or negatives, right? There's no middle or gray, black or white. Here we have our gray, which is compromising. Compromising is putting whatever you feel and believe, not in the dustbin, to the side to make room for somebody else's perspective and beliefs. Not saying that you are going to consume it and take it on as your own, but you allowing room for it is being open to the idea or the concept, because ultimately what compromising can do in a conflict resolution situation or any situation is give you a broader perspective on yourself and the situation at hand. Compromising, when it comes from both parties in a conflict situation, is amazing. Compromising when it comes from one party in a situation where both parties are at fault is toxic. Okay? It is toxic. And we out here, we try to avoid toxic situations. So, accommodating, collaborating, these are cooperative and assertive. Avoiding and competing is unassertive and uncooperative. And you want to get to a point where if you are wrong, you want to get to a position where you are comfortable enough within yourself to be able to compromise and not lose yourself in the midst of compromising. You also need to be aware of the situation to be able to detect whether it needs compromisation or not. If you are both wrong, you should both be compromising. If only one party is wrong, then the party who is wrong should be doing the compromising. Awesome, guys. Thank you so much for joining me on conflict resolution strategies. I will see you guys again next time. Bye.